Hi Lincoln Loves, this is Libby here again. We are going to be learning a new syllable pattern. I'm going to be adding to that pile. So if you look at the phonics review, you have a stash of cards. I am now going to be adding a couple of new cards. Let me get them. And we are going to be adding 2 new cards because the third card we learned in the other video. So you have your original stack of cards that I want you to review in the first video. And adding to the pile is, when you see this card, it's A, magic E says A, right? And then the 2 we're going to be learning today are vowel teams. Vowel teams are 2 vowels that are together. And you might have heard this little rhyme or something that your teacher's done to remind you. The first one does the talking, the second one does the walking. That's how I learned it, and that's how I teach my class. So the first card is AI. AI says A. The first one does the talking, the second one does the walking. AI says A. And the third card is AY. AY says A. And just to add, so if I put this card up and I'm gonna say, boys and girls, what is that? I'm gonna add this because I think of A as cheerleaders say, A. So if you sound confused, I'm gonna say, AY says A, because that's what cheerleaders do, right? So my class is used to this. I go all crazy. Okay, so let's review, okay? So I'm gonna put it up and I'm gonna mix it in with some cards from our original deck just to kind of give you a quick quiz on our sounds, okay? So as Mrs. Libby is mixing it up, okay. A magic E says A. G says G. AI says A. D says D. M says M. AY says A. And T says T. Did you get them all right? I hope so. So we are going to be making some words with A magic E. This card, you're not going to be seeing this card because this is just a card to kind of review with a sound. We don't really spell with a dash, do we? So we're not going to be using this card, but I will be using A and I will be using our E. Okay, that's our A magic E. And I'll also be using AI in my words today, and I'll also be using AY. Do you guys know any words that have AI and AY in them? Think about that. You might think of some words in a book you've seen or one of your favorite words. Maybe it's a month that you're born in. Okay, think about that. Can you write any down that have AI or NAY? I hope you have a list. Okay, so we are gonna make some words with our cards, the same cards that we've been using. These are vowel cards, okay? And we're gonna be using our mat just to make some words, okay? Because guess what? When you know a sound of the card never changes. And I tell this to my class all the time because sometimes they're learning a lot of sounds and a lot of cards. They sometimes get nervous. And I say, the sound card never changes. Once you learn AI will always say the same sound, A, okay? So let's try and make some words. Hey friends, we're gonna make some words. So a couple of things. Mrs. Libby, when I make words, I make them with 3 sounds. Nothing more, nothing less. It doesn't mean that I only have 3 letters though, because as you can see in the AI, we have 2 letters, but I only have 1 line because it's only 1 sound. AI says A. Now, we're going to be doing beginning, middle, and end sound, okay? So here is my beginning pile. Here is my middle sound, my middle vowel, or vowel team, I should say. And here's my ending sound. So another thing that Mrs. Libby does might be a little different from your teacher in your classroom is Mrs. Libby does do some nonsense words. Mrs. Libby, when we write and spell and read words, sometimes we're gonna read parts of a word that are nonsense. And it's okay to sound out nonsense words because sometimes they're in the middle of a big word. And when we start making bigger words, you're going to see that in the part, there is a nonsense part. So Mrs. Libby does practice, and we do a thumbs up if it's real, thumbs down if it's nonsense. Okay, so let's try this vowel team pattern of A, magic E, A-I, and we also have, just so you can see, those are the only sounds we're going to do, C-N-A-Y, okay? Now, let's try. So, first word, it's only 2. C says K, A-Y says A, K, A. And when Mrs. Libby does this, we're going to blend together, okay? K, A, K. And this is part of a bigger word. Some people have been to islands that have part of a K, and other things, okay? So that is a real word. Did you know that it was a real word? Have you heard that word before? Okay. Now let's go to the next one. How about this word? Ready? We know this sound. All these sounds we know, okay? Let me hide these for the moment being so it doesn't confuse you. K, A, G. Keg. Is that a real word or nonsense word? It's a nonsense word. Okay, no such thing as a keg. Okay, let's try again. Let's switch it. How about this one? K, A, D. Cade. Is that a real or a nonsense word? That is a nonsense word. Okay, nice job. Let's do we're doing the magic E, okay? So we have F, A, D. Remember, magic E makes it say its name. F, A, D. This is on the same line because it's only 1 sound. Is fade a real word or nonsense word? It is a real word, fade. Sometimes your clothes can fade. That means the color is wearing away. It's not as bright. If you watch some videos also, there is a part where something fades. That means goes away and comes back in. That is a fade, okay? Next word. D, A. No sound here. D, A, day. Is that a real word or a nonsense word? That is a real word. Day. Good job. And you might ask me, Mrs. Libby, how do you know? Can you spell it D-A-I? And no, boys and girls. You would spell it A-Y, and you're going to say, Mrs. Libby, how do you know that? That is just something that you will need practice with, and reading and hearing stories and reading stories. You will pick that up. That day is D-A-Y, day, okay? How about this one? L-A, lay. Is that a real word or a nonsense word? That is a real word, right? You can lay down when your body kind of lays on a bed, right? You can lay something down. I am laying this marker down. That means placing it down. Okay, so that is a real word and has multiple meanings. All right, next. B-A, bay. Good job. Is that a real word or nonsense word? That is a real word. We actually live near a bay, a buzzard's bay. That is a little piece, part of the ocean that it's part of the ocean, but it's a little nook, meaning a little, like a little section when you're near a bay. Okay. Next, how about this one? This is a blend. We know what C says, K. We know what L says, L. When a blend, you blend it a little bit quicker. You just say the sounds and you make them a little bit quicker together. Cl. Same sounds, just a little quicker. Cl. A. Clay. Is that a real word or nonsense word? That's a real word, clay. I'm sure all of you have either used clay in art or you might have had that in art when you were younger. It's that really soft material that you can make into anything. Some clay hardens and it becomes a pot and a bowl and things like that, right? Maybe moms and dads have something made out of clay, okay? So again, a vowel team, let's review. A vowel team are two vowels. Remember, A and Y can act like a vowel. A-I, it's when two vowels are together and the first one does the talking and the second one does the walking. Okay? And these cards, when you see them again, boys and girls, in our next video, they will always say A. It never changes. And our other one was A magic E. So that's going to be in the big pile that we did from our first video in the phonics review. Okay, so A magic E, A-I, A-Y. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to follow along with Mrs. Libby, you can get a paper with 3 dashes. This is how Mrs. Libby makes her words and reads her words. Okay, you can follow along. And all right, boys and girls, so we reviewed a vowel team. I'm going to ask you next time at the beginning of our next video what a vowel team is, okay? Vowel teams is when two vowels are together. The first one does the talking, the second one does the walking, okay? And you can leave me a comment on any vowel teams or any words you find in your reading, okay? That would be wonderful. I'll shout you out next time, okay, if I see your comments. So let me know if you guys you boys and girls find any A-Y, A-I, or A magic E words. And maybe you'll hear your name in the next video, okay? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Keep reading, keep working.